I'm Philia and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking all about Pretty Little Liars Original Sin. And just to give you a little backstory, I've watched all of Pretty Little Liars and I've watched Ravenswood. I did not watch that spinoff with Mona and Allison. I didn't do that, but I haven't really went back and watched Pretty Little Liars since it ended. But I wanted to check out Pretty Little Liars Original Sin because it looked interesting. The trailer hooked me. So I was like, what's this gonna be about, you know? So the way this video is gonna work, I'm just gonna go through all of the characters and then I'm gonna give you like an overview of the plot and what I liked about it and then what I didn't like, and then yeah. So I'm gonna start with the boys first. And I have my notes right under me, so if you see me look down, it's because I have my notes. So Chip, I said horrible human being, but I was always side-eyeing him because he was just too nice. Like, I'm sorry, all characters in teen dramas, especially boys who are just too nice, there's something up. There's something up. There's always something up. And I noticed it, like, he just really gave me that, like, friend vibe that wanted to be more than friends. Like, he didn't give me that vibe. So I don't care what happened to him at the end of the show. I really don't. Like, horrible human being. Like, the fact that he partnered up with Imogen, like, Imogen was so right at the end. He partnered up with her, like, made her like him, and then kiss him. Like, do you know how disgusting you have to be of a person to do that? I don't care for Chip. Bye. So then we have Ash. I mean, Ash was cool. Like, I didn't really care for him at all, or his relationship with Mouse. I really didn't. I feel like they just wanted every girl to be in somewhat of a relationship, and I feel like that relationship added nothing to me at all. So then we have Sean. Sean, played by Alex Iono. He was good. He was a sweet boyfriend. His relationship with Noah was cute. I was always waiting for the other shoe to drop as well because he was just giving me a little bit too nice. I think we had glimpses of maybe some rage issues, like especially at the carnival, you know, him taking the meds, but I think we'll have to see how that plays out. But overall, like, he was just a good, caring boyfriend. I really don't have anything else to say. Then we have Henry. He's like Ash, man. I didn't really care for him. And his relationship with Farron was it wasn't giving. It really, really wasn't giving. I don't understand. Like, I understand that he's like her partner in like the ballet and stuff, but them dating, it didn't really make sense to me and I didn't really care for it. Then we have Tyler. Irrelevant. His death did nothing for me. Like, sorry. Maybe it was supposed to be for like a shock factor, but even if it was shock, like, I didn't care. So yeah. Then we have Greg. You're weird, Greg, because I don't understand. Like, your girlfriend dies, you barely mourn her, and then you start dating her sister, let alone her twin. And like, no one bats an eye. It just doesn't sit right with me. Like, I feel like there's more to Greg. I feel maybe I'm reading into things, but I feel like this cannot just be Greg. Like, and then he was in the last episode, like him and Kelly were just chilling, you know, like does anybody think that this is weird? Like, how Kelly is so comfortable. Like, this is weird, Greg. This is weird behavior. And especially when you're hooking up with Kelly and she's like, call me Karen. And he's like, yo, he's not like, yo, that's weird. He's like, okay, like, there's something going on with Greg. I don't know. I feel like there's more to the story. Okay, so I think we're still on the boys now. Wes. I think he was really creepy. And I think he was creepy so it could make Chip seem like the good guy. I'm not gonna say his tactics weren't creepy and like rapey as hell. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just saying that we wanted to look at Wes first so it can take it off of Chip. But yeah, I was still having Chip in my side eye, but he's still weird. Like, basically forcing Tabby to come to his house to get the flash drive. Like, I'm so glad Tabby booked it because no. Sheriff Beasley, he was a cut and dry bad guy. I mean, I didn't really like how he was secretly gay. That's the one thing that irritated me through the whole show. I don't like how they made him secretly gay, and that's why he has like demons, as his wife puts it, or that's why he's just aggressive and he can't really live his life. I feel like that trope is so tired and played out. Like, he could be the same Sheriff Beasley with the husband and 2 adopted twins. Like, I really do think he could just be an asshole. Like, he could just be an asshole and be gay. Like, him being secretly gay, like, and repressed, I don't like that, especially like what he did to Angela all those years ago. Like, he still could have been an asshole back then and freaking bullied Angela or like punched her in the face or something, but while being gay, you know? But this whole secret is just, it's just tired, you know? Why can't he just have a husband? Like, why can't he just have a husband? Because I feel like that's just, we've seen it over and over, like the repressed gay kid is always violent, and I feel like we could have done something different with that. Yeah. Principal Clanton. So I would say he was a somewhat solid reveal. I never really suspected him, and the only reason why when I started to suspect him is when the girls were talking at the lunch table, and one of them said, "Oh, if walls could talk," and I think before or after, Principal Clanton said something over like the speaker, so that wall was talking, so I understood it. Yeah, him being Angela's father gave him the strongest motive, and I appreciate that, you know? So he's not just a stranger, he's directly connected to what happened to Angela. But I feel like in the end, his performance was weak to me. I don't know, but I needed more passion. Like, I wanted to feel it, and I wanted it to make sense. He was just disarmed so easily. I wanted more fire, you know? I just wanted more from him. And I feel like in the end, he kind of fell flat to me. So then the boys are all done. I know I could talk about Zeke, which is Farron's dad, but I really don't have anything to say about him. So, yeah. Imogen's dad. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to go on to the main girls. But before I do the main girls, I'm going to talk about Karen and Kelly. Karen and Kelly, there's something going on. I'm so sorry. I feel like Kelly is still Karen. I don't know because I don't know. I feel like it was too easy or something. The way she like integrated herself with all of the girls and became friends with them. I feel like there's more. And I don't trust her. I don't trust Kelly at all. Kelly or Karen. I don't know. I still feel like even though the killer came after her and made her admit that she was Kelly, is she Kelly? I don't know. I just feel like there's something more to that story. Karen, I mean, she's a bitch. We know that. But her death was, fine. But I genuinely, if there's more seasons, I do feel like there's more to Kelly. I really, really do. I really, really do. You heard it here first. So Imogen. I do think Imogen was a strong lead, and her performance was good. With her mother being killed, it gave her the best motivation to find out what happened and be truly invested in all of this. So we can't just be like, oh, why are you looking so hard? Well, it's because her mother killed herself and she wants to know what happened. So I get why she's desperately wants to be in the center, and it makes sense for her to be in the center. One thing that I didn't really care about is she didn't read like a 16-year-old girl to me, or 6 months pregnant. The way she was the way she was zooming around that school with her 6-7 month baby, like, I feel like she could have moved a little bit more like she was 6 to 7 months pregnant. And then her not reading as a 16-year-old girl to me, I feel like she was just so, maybe some kids are just mature for their age, but I feel like she was just so mature, and her mannerisms did not read young girl to me. And then when I talk about the main characters, I'm going to talk about their mothers in tandem with them. And I just said Davy, like, had a lot of guilt for what she did to Angela, but we still don't know what happened to Angela, because Davy invited Angela to that New Year's bash or whatever. But then when Angela came running, like she just got hit by a bus or something, bleeding and all that stuff, I want to know what Davy set up, because that's the reason why she's the most guilty, because Davy set something up that we don't know about. Because it's not like Davy said, hey, Angela, want to come to the bash? And Angela showed up perfectly fine. No, Angela showed up like she'd been through some shit. And I want to know what that is. And that's why Davy feels the most guilty, genuinely. Okay, next girl, Noah. I liked her, and I liked her relationship with Sean. Her taking the fall for her mother kind of really shows what person she is, and she added a lot to the show. I really liked her. She gave me teenage girl, I think, the most out of all of those girls. And with her mother, you know, she's dealing with addictions, that stuff. I don't really have any more to say about her, but I do, she's connected to the story because of her mother. And that's basically it. So I feel like some of these characters, which I'm going to talk about at the end, really didn't have to give that much. So then we have Tabby. She was great, but those movie references, maybe it's okay. I think it's because I don't watch movies. So every single movie reference that she referenced, I have not seen probably. I really haven't. So it was just kind of like, oh, like Nightmare on Elm Street or Psycho. Like, I haven't seen any of that. I am not a movie connoisseur by any means. So maybe if I understood them, I would get it more, but I didn't. And they were kind of after like every sentence. She is a survivor of sexual assault, and that's what shapes her the most as we were going through this story. And I really liked how they didn't show the actual assault. I really do appreciate that, because I don't think graphic like sexual assault scenes should be in TV shows at all anymore. I feel like there's so much more you can do instead of seeing a woman be brutally attacked. So the fact that they showed maybe the before or after, I appreciate that. I appreciated that instead of seeing the actual scene. And see, this is just so much more. This just shows that there's so much more that you can do. You don't have to get a girl like brutalized when you can just show the after effects. You saw how Tabby is moving through life, and her mannerisms, and how she interacts with other men, like especially in the bookstore when the guy is like, hey, you're cool, like, want to go out? And she just envisions this whole scenario in her head that ends with her being attacked. And I'm so glad that they showed the state of fear that she's living in. And I think that was really good for her character. Her living with Imogen also gives her a strong motive, wanting to know the truth. And also her being a horror movie fan, it just automatically makes her want to solve mysteries, and has all of this knowledge of what happens in all of these horror shows that she can help the girls with. So yeah, her mom, just like all the other moms, I feel like her mom was cool. I didn't really have an issue with her. All the moms just want to protect their kid, and they've all changed from who they were in high school. Yeah. So then Farron Farron was my favorite. She was one of my favorites, and I just love how she speaks her mind, but also when someone's struggling, she feels the need to go and help them, especially her relationship with Kelly. You know, she didn't like Kelly at first, but once she like knew what Kelly was going through, she made an effort to help and even go up to Sheriff Beasley and say, hey, like, stop disrespecting your daughter because she's hurting herself and she needs you to like be on board with this shit, you know? And the whole thing with the surgery, I think that was just really sad. Like, her mother wanting to chase perfection made her daughter get that surgery when it wasn't needed or recommended. It just shows a lot, and I feel like that's going to be a lot of trauma and of relationship building that her and her mother need to go through. And you can see how her mother's ideologies translate to her because she's wearing that back brace 24/7, trying to get back into dance, you know, pushing herself when she should just relax. And then Mouse. Out of all of the girls, Mouse was the one whose didn't really make sense, her story. I didn't really care for Mouse that much, and I think her storyline wasn't that great. Her relationship with Steve was so like creepy to me, and it's not even like she was just helping him go through grief. Like, they were role playing. She was calling him dad, like he was calling her a different name. Like, I genuinely thought Steve was a pedo. Like, I genuinely thought he was weird. He was weird. And one thing that didn't make sense to me is when her moms catch her with him, they don't do anything. They barely bat an eye. They don't say anything. Like, shouldn't you have a conversation? Shouldn't there be something more? Like, I don't understand. This was weird. This was so weird. And then her going to her dad's house in that Girl Scout uniform and her being rejected. I understand that she needed to like run back to Steve for that whole like plot to happen, but like, are we even gonna see her dad ever again? Probably not. So yeah. Gotcha. Like, there should have been a conversation to be had. Like, it was just, I don't know. The whole Mouse thing was weird. So now that I've gotten through basically all of the characters, I'm going to go through and tell you guys what I liked. So I liked that there was a connection between the characters. Since the mothers are all connected, it makes sense that the daughters are all connected, and that's why A is targeting them. Unlike the original Pretty Little Liars, when we find out that Uber A is only hates Spencer, and the other girls were kind of just pushed to the side. Really, they didn't even have to be in the story at all. So I kind of like how like the mothers are connected, so which means each of the daughters have a place in this story. And then I think the performances were all up to par as far as teen dramas. Also, I liked how it was different from the original Pretty Little Liars, because making this a slasher kind of raised the stakes a little bit, even though I still think that none of the liars got harmed. I do think having like the element of murder was cool, I guess. And I liked how some spin-offs or whatever, they're constantly referencing their original material, which kind of gets annoying. But I liked how Pretty Little Liars Original Sin kind of did it in a subtle way. Side note, Ariana Ezra adopting Imogen's baby. Okay, cute, but I just want to say this right now. I will never see it for Ezra and Aria. I will never, ever, ever, ever see it. I don't care how many years has passed. I don't care if they're happily married. I would never, ever see it. Ezra, you're weird. Ezra, you're weird, and that's all I'm going to say. And then now I'm going to go into the things that I didn't like. So here's my thing. Even though the connections between like the girls, the mothers and the daughters was cool, I felt like that was still weak for me, Because punishing the daughters for the sins of the mother, like, I don't understand how that punishment fits the crime. It would have made sense if maybe all of the daughters grew up to be horrible, mean girls, but they didn't. They grew up to be like nice, caring people. The only mean girl was like Karen and Kelly, Sheriff Beasley's kids. Like, so I don't understand how that correlates. Like, it shouldn't be, you know? Like, I don't understand how. I feel like if you want to punish the mothers, but for their daughters, like, really, who grow up to be good people. And like, why? And I had so many questions. My question that I wanted to know is, why does Clanton do this now? Like, what was his end goal? Was he going to kill all of them? I don't understand. And having his other son, the one with the mask, like, I don't know, that person was everywhere. He was literally everywhere. And I just want to know, are you driving? Are you taking an Uber? Are you taking a bus? How are you getting to all of these places in the span of, like, I don't know, a couple hours? It's not making sense. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it would have been more interesting if all of the girls did something to someone, or if they were horrible, mean girls and had to pay for those sins. But something that your mothers did back in 1999, like, okay. So, now that I've gone through what I liked and what I didn't like, here is my thoughts if there is a season 2. So my biggest fear is this dragging on for more than it should have. Because, like, what more is there to say? Does Archie want revenge? Like, he's literally mute. Like, I don't know what so is Archie gonna be the main A? Like, Chip's dead, who cares? Beasley's dead. Again, who cares? Like, I just want the show to not go longer than more than it should have. Like, who would A even be? Clanton again? Like, I don't think they'll do that. And I don't want the show to become an empty shell of itself, because now that the mothers and daughters are like, fine, who else has beef? Who else have beef? Like, Archie could have beef maybe, but like, other than that, like, who else? Maybe Kelly could have been like doing shit behind the scenes, you know, manipulating them. That would be kind of interesting, but who else has beef? But yeah, overall, I do think this was a fun and interesting watch. I do not regret my time watching this show. I would recommend it if you want something fast and cool. And as far as teen dramas, it's not bad, because I always grade teen dramas differently. So yeah, I would be interested to see if there's a season 2, but I would wonder what direction they're gonna go in. But anyways, thank you for watching my YouTube channel. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me how you felt about Pretty Little Liars Original Sin.